InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. 2015 is the year to do it, and it all starts at InfoWarsLife.com. In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operation.
You let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
It's a popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.
For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At InfoWars Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective colloidal silver on the market today for the lowest price available. You don't have to be a doctor to know. The fall and winter months are the most dangerous time of year in North America when it comes to you and your family's health. InfoWarsLife.com is very excited to announce our biggest run yet of Silver Bullet colloidal silver, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now, InfoWarsLife.com has taken colloidal silver to the next level using a cutting-edge technique that is free of toxic artificial additives. Now more than ever, it's important to stock up on high-quality Silver Bullet from InfoWarsLife.com. No survival chest is complete without Silver Bullet. Secure your Silver Bullet today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Silver Bullet.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Thomas Jefferson. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight on this Sunday edition. We've been talking about the surveillance state and, of course, what the CIA does in terms of controlling Hollywood to propagandize the people. And when the people in Hollywood don't play along, sometimes they disappear. As we were talking about the exclusive story from the Daily Mail, the reporter with I guess it was a writer without any hands, a screenwriter who said that he knew why we invaded Panama, and it wasn't, of course, the reasons that we were given. He believed that it was to get a stash of sex tapes that Noriega was blackmailing government officials with, that the rest of it was a ruse, that it was essentially a bank robbery. Now, that could just be a fantastic story that he had coming up there, but it's very interesting the way he disappeared, the circumstances of his death, and, of course, this was somebody who was very much tied in with the CIA. And just within the week after he died, his widow was visited by not only the FBI, but the CIA, the NSA, and this was, of course, back in 1997, and the Department of Defense. I believe this story was put up because the people who were filming a documentary about this situation got essentially a threat from a Department of Defense contractor, they said, that they should just drop this whole thing. So I think they kind of went public a little bit with this to try to protect themselves. But I want to go to your calls now. We've had some people holding on the line, and we have a different number on Sunday. It's 877-789-ALEX. Let's go to Mark in North Carolina. Mark, you wanted to talk about the police state and the Snowden documents that we've just had another leak of. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to talk about Snowden and, what a hero the man is and how. But, you talking about this movie, this producer there?
Yeah. Gary DeVore.
This brings in this people who wonder why Snowden. They keep saying, I've heard that fool, that doofus Glenn Beck saying that he's a traitor because he went to Russia and this and that recently, and the other idiots on his show. And I've heard other people say that too. The fact of the matter is, when you know about stuff like what the CIA does, you can understand very well why he would want to leave the country. And the other thing is, that, what I wanted to say too is,
let's pause with that for just a moment. Just like we were talking about this Gary DeVore situation. I mean, we've seen over and over again people disappearing in essentially gangland-style hits, and we need to understand that when you have a totally secret organization like the CIA, the NSA, all of these different government organizations, and now that is filtering out to every aspect of government where they operate without any supervision, without any transparency. When you have that, you are inviting the most criminal elements of our society to essentially run those organizations, and that eventually is what happens. It's not only a corruption of power, but people who are essentially gangsters realize that if they get control of the CIA, they can run the worldwide drug trade. They can kill anybody that gets in their way, and that's the thing that is so dangerous about this. I'm sorry, go ahead. Continue with what you're saying.
The other thing is, too, you talk about the mob. The mob works together with the CIA. I'm almost 100% sure that the CIA and the mob worked together to kill JFK.
Sure.
And one other thing, too, about Bush. Bush was the president at the time. He was the head of the CIA. I believe he was a CIA agent. I believe he was involved in the Kennedy assassination. I want you to read a book. I'm reading it now, and I think everybody, maybe you've read it already, Family of Secrets by Russ Baker.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you all about what a rotten family this really is, with an evil family, I think. They're right up there with Rockefellers and others, and that's why they want so badly to get this bum, Jeb Bush, in there. As a matter of fact, that's what they want. They want Bush against Clinton. Both, by the way, the Clintons and the Bushes were involved in Mena, Arkansas, in moving the drugs into American ghettos, and that was what Gary Webb was investigating, and that's what what's
Absolutely.
The guy's name again? And that's what what's that guy's name? Who's got the same name as Rick Ross. That's
Rick Ross,
Rick
yeah.
Ross
that we've had on.
too.
Alex talked to him quite a bit. Yeah, that's right.
People got to understand this is an evil government we're under right now. We got to get wise. We got to look to do something about this. We can't let this go on. And it's not just the Democrats or the Republicans. This is both of these parties. They're rotten to the core. What do you think Benghazi was involved? Benghazi was involved in gun running. And there's a big thing about storm. I think they call it Stormfront or Storms on the Horizon. The big thing today on their website about what really happened, who really funded ISIS, where ISIS really came from. It started in Libya with the overthrow of Gaddafi, who actually was doing a good job for his people in Libya. Okay, and they wanted desperately to overthrow Assad. I mean, we got to get wise. And this Bush family, every time you look at anything, they seem to be right in the middle of it. I don't think it's a coincidence that Ronald Reagan was almost assassinated when Bush was his vice president either.
Oh yeah, I don't think so either. This all plays together. It's not just the CIA, but it's the NSA. It's all these organizations as part of this. These latest Snowden documents that were released out of the German paper Der Spiegel. One of the comments that they had was they said it's a stunning approach for them to talk about how just mass surveillance was phase 0, but phase 3 was going to be total dominance. They said it's a stunning approach that digital spies take when they deliberately undermined the very foundations of the rule of law around the globe. And see, that's the point, is that it's undermining everything about our government. The corruption is so pervasive, so out in your face now, and how do we pull this back? Then they point out, a lot of people think that this isn't anything that really affects them, even the spying aspect of it. But they point out in this article that even if you don't have something that you're concerned about them seeing on your computer, or you're not concerned that you're going to lose service to your computer or to your phone if they take down the entire internet. They say this could also take down hospitals. This has real consequences. That's the whole meaning of cyber war. Like any war, it's not going to be just conducted in cyberspace. It is going to have real world consequences in terms of taking down hospitals, in terms of taking down power and infrastructure, just the same as if you had launched a bomb on them. But it's also beyond that. As Julian Assange pointed out, and we mentioned this before, he had a great quote. He said, Twitter has now become a police interview that never ends. Facebook has all of your friends wearing a wire. And YouTube has you in the dock talking to the judge. And he says every social media user creates a vast library of statements that can be taken out of context by vengeful or ambitious officials. Users should be displayed their Miranda rights every time they log on. See, that's what the public doesn't understand. They don't understand how this is going to be used, misused, and even abused by people to come after innocent people who haven't really done anything, to blackmail government officials. It's a very serious matter. Let's go to Rick in Tampa. You said you wanted to talk about the article I mentioned earlier about the president versus Congress. Go ahead.
Yes. Hey, David. How you doing? First-time caller, new listener, and I'm very happy to see that Infowars.com's out there to spread the word about what's going on out there in America. I would just like to say that, you know, this mainstream media nowadays here, I mean, with President Obama always bypassing Congress like he does, he always announces, well, I have to go around Congress. And he doesn't realize that isn't Congress elected by the people of the United States? I mean, don't we elect these people to do the things that how we want our country run? And every time he goes around that, he should be saying that I'm just going to bypass the American people instead of saying bypass Congress. And the mainstream media doesn't pick up on that. They use Congress as a word that doesn't really mean anything to anybody anymore on TV because
well, that's true, but you know the Congress, the Congress is also complicit in this. Look at Boehner. Of course, he wants the same things that Obama wants. He wants the same thing that Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi want. He's working for a lot of the same corporate masters, and so he never calls them out on it. And, you know, really, Rick, this is something that's been going on for a long time where the Congress has abdicated their lawmaking authority for decades to bureaucracies, to the EPA or to the IRS. And now we see that the control of the Internet is what they're trying to turn over to the FCC. Every time a regulatory agency like that gets control of some aspect of society or the economy, then we have this multiplication of regulations. They grow exponentially because there's no check or control on them, and there's nothing that we, the people, can do about it. The Congress purposely turns this over to them, lets them run wild, and then they can appear as the savior, reining in an out-of-control bureaucracy occasionally. But for the most part, it doesn't happen. And so we see that Obama says, I don't need any regulation or any ruling from Congress about net neutrality. I'm going to say that the FCC controls the Internet, and they get to decide. And once they control that, we're going to see an explosion of regulations like we have from the EPA or from the IRS. Stay with us. We're going to be right back, taking your calls at 877-789-ALEX. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Every year we make resolutions to lose weight and get in shape. And the truth is, it's hard, even with diet and exercise, because of toxic food in our environment that is stressing our bodies more than ever before. Working with experts in nutrition and biochemistry, I found that super high-quality nutraceuticals, in addition to my diet and exercise, were the answers that synergistically worked. I could see the drastic changes every day with the amount of weight I've lost, my increased stamina, and more of a twinkle in my eye. That's why we are now so excited to launch the InfoWars Life Resolution Pack, combining 3 essential formulations: oxygen-based cleanser Oxy Powder, the Secret 12 bioavailable vitamin B12, and your choice of super female or super male vitality. Now all available at a discounted price to you and your family to bring in the new year and make 2015 a true success. That's InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. 2015 is the year to do it, and it all starts at InfoWarsLife.com.